So I just started playing this game the other day. Been playing it pretty much non-stop. I can't believe it's a free game. There's so many like different modes and ways of playing it. Even just this, like the ability to have replays and everything is great. This is my first time clearing the advanced difficulty, which is the I guess kind of the hard mode, being as it seems the game used to have a beginner difficulty, but it was taken out, so the lowest difficulty in this game is medium, which I already have a clear of on one of the modes on my channel, but I wanted to upload this because it's my first clear on advanced, and there's 2 more difficulties after this, which more or less all they really do. That was a really bad death, by the way. Dying in the first stage is never a good sign when you're going for a clear in a shmup. I can usually make it to, I don't know, somewhere in stage 3 or 4. Usually I get my first death, and then once the rule of thumb in any shmup for me goes, as soon as I lose 1 life, or lose 1 extend, like, it's pretty much all over at that point. It's gonna be kind of a disjointed commentary. So this is the rank game mode. Basically very reliant on those blue drops from enemies called dowel coins. In the top right of the screen you can see a counter. Right now it says 1681. Those are my dowel coins. And then in the top left, underneath where it says lives, which is self-explanatory, it says R shield, which is a reflect shield, which is that I just used. And it's different from a bomb, and most shmups have some type of bomb. That's not a bomb. All that does is it reflects all the bullets that are on the screen back at the enemies, and the more bullets, the more points you get for using it. So it's more of a scoring thing, and it does clear the screen once you use it with enough bullets on the screen. But if you try to just use it when there's nothing, it's not going to do much. In this mode, once your coins are past a certain level, you don't end up actually expending a use of the shield. So that's why you'll see me kind of stalling on using it until I've kind of tested it. It seems anything above like 700. It's weird the way that it works, but I won't use it unless the coins are above 700. And that just, I know for a fact, does not use one of the shields that I have. So I basically have infinite shields as long as I only use them when I have over a certain amount of coin counter. Also in this mode, when the counter gets above 1500, the enemies start firing I believe 1.5 times more bullets, and then when it gets to 2500, they fire 2.5 times the amount of bullets. As well as when you use that shield when you have a 2500 counter, which is the max, you get the most point gain. That's what you want to do ideally, is build up to 2500 and then use it, but this is the first time that I'm clearing this mode, so I'm using it more for survival than scoring. It's way easier to score really high in this mode with that's 2 deaths in stage 1, so honestly at this point when I was playing I was just thinking like this is just probably a throwaway, but you know, we'll just keep going anyways. I tried this like probably 4 or 5 times today with failure every time. But I don't think I ever died twice in stage 1 through any of them, so the fact that this is the one where I actually end up clearing the mode is kind of funny. But that's how shmups go. So this is stage 2, bugs in space, or as I like to call it, Mushihime-sama in space, because it's basically just, it had to have been inspired by that cave game about shooting bugs. But it's in space instead of on the ground. I love the music in this game too. I find myself humming it a lot when I'm playing. It's just a really I guess kind of a hidden gem, although the shmup genre in general is just full of hidden gems, like, all the time. The only people that know about the games are people in the community, and people that don't play shmups have no idea about them. And there's so many free ones, so it's very rare for me to play one, a free one, this much. But here we are. Also, that never gets old. The boss explosions are just so satisfying. Splats, bugs, or any type of organic enemy. Just some more of later. I usually will try to weave my way through things as much as possible to build up that resolve counter as much as possible, but I don't think I really get to 2500, the 2500 mark really much, if even again at all, in this run. That's fine. I guess it's kind of hard to see, but right to the left of the doll coin counter is my score, and anytime I use that shield, you see that number go up pretty high, especially if I have like close to 2500 or 2500. But like I said, I don't know if I get up to 2500 again. It'd be interesting to try to do a run without using the shield at all. Because I know I mean, it's definitely possible. It's just kind of a nice panic button. So that's the end of the stage 2 boss. I guess that level is technically called Skies. This one's called Black, but this is basically bugs in actual space. Or these, I guess these are aliens, because they have the orange splatters. I do like how this stage, all the attacks and stuff are kind of green colored, versus the first two have like red attacks, basically red bullets and red whatever. This is all like green themed. It's helpful too because even throughout all this madness, all these bullets and everything that are on the screen and at any given time, and the coins and my shots and explosions and everything, I can count on, well, one finger basically the times that I've actually died from being overwhelmed by information. So it does a really good job of differentiating the attacks. Some of these mid-bosses honestly have like more challenging patterns than some of the stage bosses. But I think in general this game, the stage itself is a lot harder than the actual boss. At least on the first 2 difficulties. I've done a little bit of experimenting with the expert difficulty, which is the next one up. I think I did like one run on the master difficulty, which is pretty ridiculous. But I don't feel like any difficulty in this game, or just any sort of challenge, any mode, any difficulty, is like insurmountable like it is in some shmups. Like there's some games that I know that I'll never clear, or I just don't have the time to like practice for as long as it takes to clear them. Satisfying explosion. This boss, especially with the green colored attacks on the boss itself being kind of tan and flesh colored, the bullets really stand out, so it's hard to miss them, which is a good thing. So every time after the third stage, you always get another life. So you can see now I have 3 lives. In the top left. But that is about to change in this stage. There's death number 1. So you can see when you die, you get like that explosion of bullets from your death that hurts enemies, which is a nice little revenge. Although you never want it to happen, rather just not die. The stage in general is as is the case with most shmups, stage 4 is usually always kind of a step up from the other ones. Mostly just in terms of how much is on screen for this one. It's easier to get overwhelmed with stuff. In some of the other game modes, there's a higher attract radius for their coins, or just like a greater pull of the things. But because I'm playing the ranked difficulty, and I rely on those coins a lot more, I have to kind of go and get pretty close to them to pull them in, since those are what power my ability to sort of infinitely use my reflect shield. I think this is probably one of the easier mid-bosses in the game. This is interesting having a boss enemy come from behind you, although it's not much of a boss enemy when you go over it like that. I kind of discovered that by accident once, and now it's the only way that I kill that. There is no ship or enemy collision damage in this game either, which is nice. Not exactly realistic, but for accessibility purposes, it's nice. And these walls and stuff here. I typically hate sections like this in shmups, and it's why I don't play many horizontal ones, because a lot of them tend to have these types of maze type sections and whatever. And I'm just trying to shoot things and blow things up, not trying to go through obstacles and that kind of thing. But in a lot of other games, if you touch those blocks or those walls or whatever, then your ship would explode, which does not happen here, which is nice. That section's going to be interesting on the harder difficulties too. So many more bullets coming at you. Yeah, there's not really a lot to talk about mechanically with this game. It's pretty simple. just each one of the different game modes plays a little bit differently, has some different rules to it. I know I'm gonna need to get more aggressive with this section on higher difficulties too. I'm definitely not gonna be able to just hang around down there at the bottom. I can already tell that. There's death number 2 of the level. So now I have 1 life left, and there's immediately following another one. So now I have no lives. I've already long past the point of getting lives based on score, and there are no more lives in the stage, or well, there's no lives in the stage in this game in general. But there's that one after level stage 3, and then there's the score extends, and that's it. No more lives to be gotten. So now I get to go into the last stage with no lives. So you can see the theme of this stage's attacks is purple, or I don't know, lavender or something like that. But another good bright color choice to contrast against the background so that you can see all of the builds. I say I definitely play the best when I only have well, only have nothing, when I have no lives left. So if I get hit once, that's the end of it. I don't really prefer to play under this pressure, but it's happened every single time I've tried to clear this mode before. I always end up either going into the final boss with no lives like this, or going into the stage with no lives. But, as you can see by the title, this is a clear, so spoiler alert, I don't die. It's actually a really good stage. This honestly might be the first time I've ever done this final stage without getting hit. I actually believe the other clear that I have right now, the Doom mode clear, is the same situation, like at least going into the final boss with no lives also. And the funny thing, it generally isn't this level that does it either, it's just something in stage 4 gets me, or, you know, early on. I think I died twice in the first stage, like I said at the beginning, so it just was never looking like a possibility to me. This is kind of a funny attack because it looks all complicated, and then once it gets close to you, if you're just patient and sit there, like, it's basically harmless. But it's almost like a scare tactic. Alright, so here we go, final boss. A lot of dodging on this one. Honestly, can't even say I've really figured out the optimum timing to use the shield either. Like, if it's when the bullets are all starting to come out initially, or if it's when the screen is more full of them at the bottom. But I typically have been doing the latter. Boss music kind of gives me kind of some like Metroid vibes a little bit. The music. Aside from that sort of electronic beat in the background occasionally. Beat it. No, we didn't. Interesting thing about this final part is that you can hurt it right now while the warning thing is going off, which generally you can't damage bosses until that goes away. I wonder if that was intentional or just a mistake. You can effectively take off, like, I don't know, maybe like an eighth of its health or something before it even gets to attack. This is actually the final part for this this clear, but there is a second part to this once you kill this thing. But I haven't done a run with those requirements yet. Anyway, that's basically it. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you want to play this game, I'll leave a link to it in the description so you can download it.